When you study the founders who successfully raised capital, there's a pattern. They all communicate with 3 specific qualities, and most founders who struggle are only using 2 of them. Let me explain. First, successful founders prioritize clarity over complexity. You can always tell the new founders when they overcomplicate everything. They use jargon, they create complicated diagrams, thinking it'll show off their knowledge. Instead, it shows off their lack of experience. True masters of their craft can boil the most complex topics down into their simplest parts. You've seen this if you've ever seen a piano teacher describe music or an expert athlete describe his craft. And if you can't simply describe your business, it shows you haven't done enough internal work to understand your business at its essence. Secondly, successful founders demonstrate conviction over confidence. Look, confidence can be faked. Conviction is what happens when you've accumulated enough evidence, whether through customer validation, market research, or personal experience, that your belief becomes unshakable. You might not have all the answers, but you know where to find them. And investors can feel that difference. When you speak from conviction, there's no hesitation, there's no selling, there's no need to convince. You're simply stating what you know to be true based on everything you've seen and experienced. But here's where most founders get stuck, because you can have the perfect clarity, you can have unshakable conviction. But if you lack congruence, none of it matters. And I never hear people talk about this enough. Congruence is the alignment between what you're saying and who you actually are. It's not something you can rehearse. Human beings are wired evolutionarily to detect incongruence instantly through body language, vocal tonality, micro-expressions. And so when there's a gap between your words and your internal state, investors feel it, and they feel it as danger, as someone who's performing rather than embodying. The best way to build your clarity, conviction, and congruence is to work with a mentor who's done this before, and to meet weekly with investors who write checks for a living. That's what we do together in my program, so DM me if you're raising and want to meet new investors, master your pitch, and become a founder worthy of investment.